Welcome back, YouTube, to the GoatCast podcast. I'm your host, Big Nige, and welcome back to another edition of Basketball with Big Nige. Today, in the Western Conference, we're going to be looking at the Pacific Division, and you're going to get my thoughts on who's the best in the Pacific Division, and we're going to kind of rank the teams, 1 through 5, based off of what they did over the offseason, how they're looking going into the 24-25 season, and my thoughts on their free agency moves and their future. But as always, make sure you like the video, comment down below on your thoughts on the Pacific Division out west. You got a favorite team out there, favorite player? Let me know down below. And let me know if you feel like I'm right or wrong about these predictions. But as always, let's continue. So at number 5 in the Pacific Division, I got the Golden State Warriors. I don't think it's a shock there. They were pretty bad last season. They did obviously re-sign Curry to a 1-year extension, paid that man his big bag, of course. But then they also, they got rid of Chris Paul, fossil Chris Paul, who out there in San Antonio now, my boy Wemby. They let go of Dario Saric, and of course the biggest one is Klay Thompson. Splash Brothers are no more. What is this Warriors offense going to look like without Klay Thompson? Not even on the bench, not injured, no longer on the team. He played himself a pretty bad last game against the Sacramento Kings. He basically shot them out that game by himself. I mean, they weren't going to beat the Kings anyway, but it was still not the best showing for a guy like Klay Thompson, who is revered as one of the best shooters to ever play basketball. He is on the Mavs now. I did give a breakdown on how the Mavs and how he would look on them, so definitely go check that video out. I don't know which video is going to drop at what time, but you'll definitely see that in the Southwest Division of this Basketball with Big Nine segment. Key additions, they got Slow-Mo, Kyle Anderson. Definitely like the fit with him. Draymond Green and him have similar games. Not the best shooters, solid defenders, solid playmakers. Not lightning quick with their athleticism, but can do a lot of high IQ plays. You got a guy like that for Draymond. If he wants to go RKO somebody for looking at stuff the wrong way, or cuss out the refs for calling the 10th illegal screen that he always sets and they never call, somebody like Kyle Anderson could definitely, spell for those non-Draymond games. Buddy Hield, solid 3-point shooter, can't give you nothing on defense, obviously. He was basically unplayable against the the Knicks last year, when he was on the 76ers. I think he is a solid pickup. Definitely would have thought somebody like another team on this Pacific Division would have picked him up, considering they need shooting. But we'll touch on that a little later. Can he replace Klay Thompson? I won't say replace. I would say he can take those same shots and he can make a good amount of them, but you have to sacrifice that you're not going to get anything on the defensive end from him. They got DeAnthony Melton, who I think he's a pretty big pickup for them at the guard position. I think, we've seen, the likes of Jordan Poole be successful in the Warriors. We saw Gary Payton. I think Gary Payton the third, second, whatever his name is. I think it's GP2, GP3. I always get his name mixed up, but, he's an athletic guard, and he's been able to be very successful in the Warriors. A guy like DeAnthony Melton can put the ball in the hoop, and he's no slouch on the defensive end either. So those are some good pickups for the Warriors. Do I think it moves the needle for them drastically over the rest of these teams? Absolutely not. They could contention with the next team I have on this list, but from all argument intents and purposes, I got them at the number 5 spot on the Pacific Division, because I just don't think they have enough, and I don't think their additions are marginal enough to put them over the hump. Coming at number 4, I got the Los Angeles Clippers. I picked them to lose, obviously, against the Dallas Mavericks when CW did our postseason predictions. And he was obviously a big Kawhi Leonard guy, and he assumed Kawhi Leonard would be healthy. And I told him, you got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, great players, injury prone. And they showed, specifically Kawhi, showed why you cannot count on him when it matters most. He's just made out of paper mache. So Speaking of Paul George, one of the major departures was Paul George. They lost him to the 76ers for nothing. Now, I don't know how incompetent a free agency move that can be, but that was pretty bad on their part, and somebody's seat needs to be questionable in that GM position. Mason Plumlee, he goes to the Suns. He was an athletic big man. He will be not sorely missed, but he'll be missed. Daniel Tice, another solid big man, just a big body, honestly. He doesn't give you too much. He's a solid player. I'm not saying he's a scrub, but and then you lose Russell Westbrook, who honestly was kind of the heart and soul of that team, especially in that second unit. You uplift guys, you know, he had all the grit, the emotion. You saw him kind of scuffling with Luca, like he was trying to give them everything he could muster, and it just wasn't enough. Um, I do like his fit on the Denver Nuggets, and I would like him to obviously play meaningful minutes over there. But I have that in the Northwest edition of this, so definitely go check that video out and see just how I think he fits on that Denver Nugget roster. So we got some other additions. We got Mo Bamba, Nick Batum, Chris Dunn, Derrick Jones Jr., and Kevin Porter Jr. That's the most questionable one, considering that I thought he'd be somewhere in Shanghai playing basketball after the stunt he pulled. Maybe second chances. Everybody deserves a second chance, and maybe he can capitalize on this mediocre Clippers roster. I think I'm being accurate when I say that. I think they're better than the Golden State Warriors, but they could also slide down, and they could be the worst team in the Pacific Division. I'm not picking that. They still have Kawhi Leonard. They still have a semi-serviceable James Harden, and they picked up Derrick Jones Jr. That's a solid 3 and D. I won't even say 3 and D wing, but he can hit the three ball. He's just an athletic wing who can pretty much guard multiple positions, kind of like what Paul George could do. But I think he can give you a little bit more effort on the defensive end because Paul George was asked to do so much more on offense than what Derrick Jones Jr. will be asked to do. So I think he can give you more on the defensive end. Mo Bamba's a solid backup big behind Zubac, of course. He probably won't get very meaningful minutes unless Zubac gets injured. But solid pickups for them. Nick Batum, of course, solid three-point shooter, solid backup big man, wing, wherever you want to put him. Very versatile. So Clippers, they're my fourth spot in the Pacific Division. No need to unpack much more there. Number 3, I got the Los Angeles Lakers. And I sigh so much. This I'm a big LeBron guy, clearly, as you can see in the poster behind me. The Lakers are very frustrating, man. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I'm just very, very shocked, very annoyed, and I just don't understand. We continue to do nothing and stand pat. Like there are reports out there that they are okay to roll the dice on Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, Christian Wood. I mean, I'm glad they got rid of Spencer Dinwiddie and Torian Prince. I mean, those guys could have gone for a box of cookies. I mean, they weren't that good. Now, Torian Prince, he had some spot moments in the regular season, sure, when he was hitting his shots and playing serviceable defense, but it just wasn't what I thought it would be. And Spencer Dinwiddie, Jesus Christ, man, between him and D'Angelo Russell, I mean, they were literally going shot for shot on who was the worst guard on the team in that Denver Nuggets series. I mean, you couldn't even play neither one of them. They were so bad. So good to see him gone. I thought D'Lo was gone too, but I guess he's back. Is he back for the whole year? Is he going to be an attractive trade piece? Who knows? And honestly, who cares? The Lakers still didn't get an athletic big man to play alongside Anthony Davis. So that's a wash. They're going to waste another year of LeBron's career. They're not addressing the shooting. Austin Reeves is a solid guy. D'Lo can hit the three, of course, but they just don't have no real shooting, man. And it's just frustrating. It really is. I don't give a damn that they re-signed Max Christie because they damn sure ain't gonna play him. They never play him unless it's garbage time. So what does him getting re-signed do? He looks really good against the third string, never gets meaningful minutes. I just don't get it. I don't get it. So they're the number 3 team. I think they're better than the Clippers and Warriors. They're better constructed. They still got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. D'Lo's not no scrub. Austin Reeves is solid, but we just don't have a big man, and we don't have enough of the solid shooting that you would want in a contending team. So they're number 3 for me. Let's move on before I cuss somebody out. Phoenix Suns. I don't really like this team. I'll be honest with you. I'm putting them above the Lakers because I think they'll win. They'll win more games than the Lakers. Um, just on the backs of Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant. It's a nice big 3. Biggest question mark for them is the injury bug. Kevin Durant's pretty injury prone. We know that Bradley Beal is injury prone, and I guess Devin Booker's hamstrings are made out of tissue paper. So we got those things factoring into the injury bug and why I think they could flip flop between the Lakers and Suns of being the second best or third best team in the Pacific Division. You bringing back Bol, Damian Lee, Josh Okogie, solid player, Royce O'Neal, solid 3-and-D guy, undersized but solid. You brought in Tyus Jones, probably the best pickup you guys had this entire offseason, finally getting a point guard. Bradley Beal is not no damn point guard, and neither is Devin Booker. Stop. Just stop. Um, it was a good try, but let them boys play their real positions and get a damn point guard. Now, they did get Tyus Jones. Is he the answer? No. I mean, obviously not. He's not. His namesake isn't big enough to garner the respect of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. But is he a steady hand? For sure. Absolutely. They need a big man. They need someone that's ready to do the grunt work down there, someone who can be a better playmaker. They just need somebody to commit to rebounding the basketball. That's what killed them against Minnesota is they had no rebounders, no defenders, just a lot of running gun offense, live by the 3, die by the 3, and they died. Bringing in Mason Plumlee, solid athletic big man, Monty Morris, and EJ Lytle. Sure. Yeah. Those moves, they don't impress me. You probably don't even know half the people that I just mentioned. Not impressed by the Phoenix Suns, but they have enough star power to easily be the second or third best team in the Pacific Division. They deserve their respect, but they will not go far without addressing the defense and the playmaking and the rebounding. So last but not least, we got the Sacramento Kings. I think they're going to be the best team in the Pacific Division in large part because they picked up DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is a consistent, about 20 point per game scorer, decent efficiency clips. It's not going to knock your socks off, but he is an all-star level-ish player at times. You bring that in, you replace, was it Harrison Barnes? Yeah, you replace Harrison Barnes for that, who I believe DeMar DeRozan is a better player than Harrison Barnes at this point, both in their careers. And is he the missing piece to get them over the hump? I don't think so, but I think they're going to win significantly more games because you have a consistent 20 point per game score added to your team. There's going to be an adjustment period. And the biggest question mark for me is the 3-point shooting. You have 3 of your key guys who are not a threat at the 3-point line. So I'm just very curious of how this offense is going to look. And we know spacing is everything in the NBA. And DeMar DeRozan ain't scaring you at the 3-point line. De'Aaron Fox is not scaring you at the 3-point line. And of course, Sabonis is not scaring you at the 3-point line. All of them can hit perimeter shots, but not when you need them the most. They do have Malik Monk, signed him, and I thought he was a goner, so I count their lucky stars because I don't know how the heck the Lakers let him go, but whatever. This isn't the Lakers poo-poo show. Jalen McDaniels is a solid guy coming from the Raptors. He gives them some size, some athleticism at the wing position. Jordan McLaughlin, he's a good pickup, and Orlando Robinson, just whatever. Nothing crazy on that. As far as the guys they gave up, Harrison Barnes, Chris Dort, Davion Mitchell, and Sasha Vezenkov, who was traded to the Raptors, and I think he ended up going back overseas, but whatever the case may be, he wasn't a difference maker on this roster either way. I just still think they are the best team in the Pacific Division. I think they're probably the deepest team in the Pacific Division as well, although you can make an argument for the Clippers. I think the Sacramento Kings, top to bottom, are the best team in the Pacific Division. Let me know your comments down below. Just to reiterate, I got the Kings, the Suns, the Lakers, Clippers, and then Warriors to round out the top 5 of the Pacific Division. Let me know if you guys think I'm wrong. Let me know if you think I'm right. I want you to like the video, comment down below, subscribe if you're new. And that's it for this segment of Basketball with Big Notch. Until the next one, y'all, have a blessed one.